The Dodgers are in a roster crunch. They need to clear off a spot on that 40-man roster to officially announce the signing of Kyle Tucker. Who will that be? We got some DFA candidates and 3 Dodgers who could be shockingly traded still this offseason. And LA is interested in adding in another ace. I'm going to tell you why. Mookie Betts says he's going to finish his career with the Dodgers. Dick Mountain has officially announced his retirement. All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade. We got it, Parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series.
Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Mookie Magic.
Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button, getting close to 163,000 subscribers. So if you want to support every single episode, drop a like, drop a comment, tell your family, your friends that love the Dodgers to join the party. Also, podcast listeners, write us a review. We will read it on the show. This episode is brought to you by GearUp.LA, the official merch store of Dodgers Nation. Cooking up some more t-shirts. Get ready for spring training. Get ready for opening day. It is on its way, and the LA Sports Report's my new show, my new channel dedicated all LA sports, so definitely be sure to do that. This is a live show, and you guys are a part of this. You guys are the reason why this is the #1 Dodgers podcast. You're our co-host here. We got Noel rocking with us as always. He's looking for the comment of the show. He's looking for your questions, your hot takes on all things Dodger baseball. We're going to give out a comment of the show a little later. We got Rob in the back. He's in someone's DMs right now. I don't know what's Rob doing. We got, All right, Rob. Okay, one Dodgers jersey to wear for the rest of your life. Which player you rocking with?
I go with my man Mookie Betts. Let's get it.
Mookie Betts. Hey, you know what? That's a good investment because, hey, that number 50 is going to be in the Hall of Fame, and he's going to end his career with the Dodgers. Honestly, I don't think I've ever asked you that question, Noel. I mean, that's kind of puts you on the spot.
I would go Matt Kemp for sure.
You go Matt Kemp. One jersey, rest of your life.
Yes, sir.
Man.
My first favorite Dodger.
You guys know who I'm rolling with. The real 17. I'm going Miguel Vargas. Give me Miggy Varg. And of course, go on Jackie Robinson, baby. Change the game forever. Give me 42. The best number of all sports. 42. That's Shohei Murakami, though. I regret not purchasing that because it's like tripled in value. And I was like, Flowers, I don't get it. Totally get it. Wish I had comped it. The Ohtani 17 is iconic. You know what? Let's ask you guys down below in the comments. If you could only wear one Dodgers jersey for the rest of your existence, who would that be and why? We'll get some comments to the show for that in a little bit. The poll question of the show, I asked you guys over on the X, do the Dodgers need to add more starting pitching? And right now, 55% say no. 45% are greedy and gluttonous Dodgers fans. They're just saying yes. They're saying more. So we'll talk about that next because it is a jam-packed Tuesday. We are still waiting the official introductory press conference for Kyle Tucker. I'm going to tell you why we're not having that today. There's so much to get into, so much Dodgers baseball to talk about. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that the Dodgers are reportedly still interested in adding another starting pitcher. The Athletic is reporting that the Dodgers are going to continue to engage with the Milwaukee Brewers on Freddy Peralta. And if you've been watching this show the entire offseason, first couple of shows after the World Series, I said that you're going to think I'm crazy, but I think the Dodgers need to pursue more starting pitching this offseason. And you said to me, D-Mac, what are you talking about? We've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who just won World Series MVP. We dropped $182 million on Blake Snell last offseason. He was great in the postseason. Shohei Ohtani's back from his second Tommy John surgery. Tyler Glasnow, he looked great in the postseason. Roki Sasaki is going to go back to being a starting pitcher in 2026. Gavin Stone's coming back. River Ryan's coming back. You've got options. And you got Emmet Sheehan, who on his best day is really as nasty as it gets. And what I said at the time was, yes, sure, there's no doubt about it that on paper, the Dodgers starting rotation looks absolutely elite, and they are the murderer's rotation. They are as nasty as it gets, but we also have to factor in a couple of things here. The Dodgers have made it very clear to us what they think about the regular season. And what I always say, don't listen to what the Dodgers say. Watch what they do. What are their actions? And last year during the regular season, their actions were, hey, Blake Snell, dealing with a shoulder injury, could probably pitch through that. Okay, you're going to get some time off. Tyler Glasnow, pitch with a little bit of an injury, working with the new mechanics, we'll give you some extended time off. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, in year one, got some extended time off. Roki Sasaki, shoulder injury, time off. Now, Yamamoto, the guy who did pitch, who is their very best pitcher, he did pitch over 200 innings last year, regular season and postseason combined, including the all-time heroic, the losing is not an option performance in the postseason, where he went on 0 days rest. And because of that, it takes his toll. And the Dodgers are not going to run those guys into the ground. And then you add the fact that they're working guys back in the rotation. You're getting River Ryan back, who will probably start the season on the IL or down in AAA. You're getting Gavin Stone back, who will probably start the season down in AAA. Roki Sasaki did not sign with the Dodgers to be a reliever, and they also have Tanner Scott hopefully having a bounce back year, and they got Edwin Diaz. So Roki Sasaki is going to get every opportunity to start. I don't think he's going to go 150 to 200 innings because we haven't seen that from him throughout his career. And then you add the fact the Dodgers are going to have a 6-man rotation. There's going to be opportunities for those young guys. But with Freddy Peralta, what you are getting is an ace-level pitcher, a frontline starter on most teams, and he has 1 year of team control. And what he essentially is he's ace insurance. That's what he is. He's proven ace insurance. Now, last season, he had a 5.5 WAR season. He had a 2.70 ERA in 176 and 2/3 innings. He made 33 starts. Freddy Peralta is a frontline starter, top 10 to 15 pitcher in his absolute prime that would be under 1 year of team control, and a guy that the Dodgers would not feel like they would have to wrap up in bubble wrap, that they would not have to load manage as much because he's not under these big deals, right? He's not under a Yamamoto $325 million contract or a Blake Snell $182 million contract. They would use him like you use a rented car, which is you don't care where you park it. You can park it, squeeze into that tight space. Oh, I just dinged the guy a little bit. Fine. Scratch here, scratch there, floor it, trash in the car. You just use it. You drive it. You hopefully got the insurance, and then you return that thing and you don't think much about it, right? The Dodgers use Blake Snell as like that Ferrari, right? You don't want to scratch that thing. You want to baby that thing. Yamamoto's the Porsche. You want to baby that thing. Ohtani is like, he's a spaceship. He's a UFO. Okay, let's call that what it is. He's on some other planet. And Roki Sasaki, hey, what I say? He's like the Lambo that you got at the price of an Altima. And then Tyler Glasnow, He's kind of like a Range Rover, a Jaguar. Really great when there's no issues with them. But once the transmission starts knocking, once you get the check engine light on, you're like, uh-oh, this has to go to the shop for a little bit. You can't drive that thing when it's not working. So the reason why Freddy Peralta would make sense is he's got big stuff. He's in the 84th percentile in strikeout rate at 28.2%. He's in the 83rd percentile in whiff rate at 30.1%. His hard hit rate, he limits hard contact at an elite level in the 90th percentile, 34.5%. And those are three things that the Dodgers really look at. Do you miss bats? Do you punch guys out? Do you limit hard contact? And they'll live with the walk stuff. Oh, below average walk rate? Fine, but how nasty are you? Because nasty plays in the postseason. The postseason's different, right? It's not a sanctioned boxing match where you got refs and you're going 12. You're not in the octagon. It's a back alley street fight. And those back alley street fights, those brawls, you need guys like Freddy Peralta who can throw those haymakers, who can have different weapons and different ways to get guys out. Another thing I will say too is when you look at Peralta and what he brings to the table, who knows what the Dodgers could do? And I'm just looking about this. If he's on the market and they're looking to trade him, the Dodgers, you have the prospect capital to get a deal done for Freddy Peralta. If you want to include a Jackson Ferris, if you want to include a Zaire Hope, if you want to include one of the guys that are returning, a River Ryan, but would you include an Emmet Sheehan? That one is a tough call just because Emmet Sheehan, really, when he's right, he's absolutely nasty. He's kind of one of the most overshadowed and not talked about pitchers in Major League Baseball just because he pitches for Los Angeles Dodgers. I'll give you a stat about Emmet Sheehan that tells you how good he is, how much of a baller he is when he's right. Emmet Sheehan is one of just 3 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball for the 2025 season that pitched more than 70 innings, that had a strikeout to walk ratio north of 23%, that held opponents to a batting average of below 200, the Conforto line, that had a FIP under 3. So he was one of 3 guys to do that. 70-plus innings, strikeout to walk ratio at 23%, opponent's batting average under 200, and a FIP under 3. Who were those 3? I guarantee you can guess 2 of them. Future Dodger Tarek Skubal and future Dodger Paul Skeens and Emmet Sheehan. Those were the 3 guys that put together those types of numbers. And that's elite stuff. His stuff plus really plays. He's under team control for years. But the question is, let's say things went wrong. Let's say what happens in 2026 is what happens in a lot of rotations, right? What's Billy Bean's famous line from Moneyball? There's 2 types of pitchers, ones that have had Tommy John and ones that get Tommy John, right? That's the nature of baseball right now. And I don't like to say that Tommy John, it's like saying Voldemort and Harry Potter. You don't want to say it. You don't want to give it life. But let's just say this is the Dodgers organization that likes to think 3 or 4 moves ahead. And they're not always just going to think idealistically about their roster. They're going to want to give themselves protection in the event that something that there's a more than 0% chance of happening happens. And that is that they lose a starting pitcher for an extended period of time and possibly in the postseason. So my question to you is this: would you have Freddy Peralta starting a postseason game over Emmet Sheehan if the Dodgers lost a couple frontline guys? Would you? I don't think you would. I mean, Freddy Peralta hasn't been great in the postseason, but he hasn't pitched with the Dodgers in the postseason. So I would kind of hold out to see that. So look, if they felt that they needed another guy, I certainly would pull the trigger on Freddy Peralta. And they're telling you this too. Here's my other deeper theory in all this. You know why this is getting out maybe? Oh, Dodgers are really serious about Freddy Peralta. We might have to take their offer. And of course, I'm talking about the Detroit Tigers. Maybe the Dodgers just throwing this out there, saying, hey, we're serious about trading for a starting pitcher, just so the Detroit Tigers can call the Dodgers and say, wait. All right. Yeah, fine. We'll take Jackson Ferris and Emmet Sheehan and Zaire Hope. Okay, we'll do the deal for Tarek Skubal. We're far apart in arbitration negotiations. He wants $32 million. We're lowballing him. We know we have to deal him. Here's Tarek Skubal, right? I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but what have we seen now? Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Because if you just listen to what they said, Andrew Friedman said that the heavy lifting was over after the signing of Edwin Diaz. There was going to be very much heavy lifting this offseason. Well, I don't know if Andrew Friedman is like a bodybuilder or he's like The Rock or something, but they have been doing heavy lifting. And this tells me that they're not done and that they're not content and that they want to add to the roster. Another thing I'll throw in too is don't forget this. The fact that they have so many top-level prospects that may or may not ultimately get opportunities with this organization, and take Ryan Ward, for example. For a month or 2 months, it felt like Ryan Ward was getting an opportunity during spring training to get some real playing time, to get a real opportunity with this organization. And what did they do? They went out there and they signed Kyle Tucker. And now that dream for him is likely done. So how about this? The Dodgers could always trade for Freddy Peralta and then trade Freddy Peralta for prospects if they want to replenish that farm system, if they're going to use a lot of prospects to get another deal done. So there's a lot of things in play right now. I think that this is a team that realizes that in 2024, you won the World Series because of an elite bullpen that just dug deep. You had Michael Kopech, you had Blake Tryon, you had Evan Phillips, but it was still Walker Buehler who got the final outs. And in 2025, you won the World Series with elite starting pitching. Not just good, not just great. We're talking about all-time stuff. It took an all-time great run, an Oral Hershiser-esque run for the Dodgers to beat the Blue Jays. That's what it took. If you had anything less than Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers would not be back-to-back champions. There would be no dynasty, and we would be wondering if they had made the right or wrong moves and what it would take to get back to the World Series. If you had the 2017 rotation, the Dodgers would have lost. The 2018 rotation, the Dodgers would have lost. The 2021 rotation, the Dodgers would have lost. The 2023 rotation, Lance Lynn would have gave up like 50 home runs. They would have lost. By the way, CJ Stroud's like the Lance Lynn of the NFL. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'll end it at that. So that's what they know now. They know that you win with not just good, not great, but the all-time elite type of stuff, and not just one of those guys, but multiple versions of those guys. And then you had the fact, too, I'll throw this out there. Every single one of the Dodgers starters, there's question marks about. Yamamoto dealt with a shoulder injury a couple years ago, threw over 200 innings. Blake Snell, shoulder injury. He has pitched over 130 innings twice in his career. Both those times he won the Cy Young. But he also hasn't done that very many times throughout his career. So the track record with him says if he does pitch, he usually pitches at an elite level. But more often than not, he deals with something throughout the year. Shohei Ohtani, coming off a second Tommy John surgery, still not back to a 100% workload. Roki Sasaki has not had success as a starting pitcher. Tyler Glasnow has dealt with injuries throughout his entire career. So there has been more questions than an episode of Jeopardy for the Dodgers starting rotation. So that's why I know on paper the fans are freaking out. Just cancel the season if they get another race. Just cancel it. Who else they get? Superman? I mean, come on. Jesus Christ of Bethlehem. Who else they can add to that rotation? It's ridiculous. Just start the lockout. But now you kind of understand that that is what it is. And I thought it was really interesting what Craig Counsell said over the weekend. I want to kind of go here for a quick second. Craig Counsell said over the weekend when he was asked about the Dodgers and the moves that they had made, he said something I thought was very, truthful. He says something that I think that doesn't get said enough is that, yes, what the Dodgers have done, not very many teams can do when you look at their overall spending power, right? Maybe the Mets, maybe the Yankees, Blue Jays, a couple teams out there. But one thing he said that doesn't get said enough is the Dodgers have taken a lot of risks, and those risks have paid off. Look at all the risks they've taken. Signing Mookie Betts to a long-term deal before ever playing a game. Look at all the risks. Shohei Ohtani, is it a risk? Not really, but still, it is a move that a lot of organizations, before that deferred money was a part of the plan, they still took on a potential guy that was going to get that kind of money. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, they gave a pitcher $325 million that's never thrown a pitch, much to the chagrin of Josh Reddick, right? So the list goes on. They've taken a ton of risks, and it just shows that you can't, just because you throw out money doesn't mean that. But I see some comments here. D-Mac, really? Trade Emmet Sheehan? I don't think it's something that they're going to do. I'm just saying that who would you want in that situation? I'm a big Emmet Sheehan believer. Trust me, I truly am. But I'm just throwing it out there because, look, I will tell you this. The Dodgers could have had Justin Verlander a couple years ago when he was traded from the Mets, and they didn't want to give up Emmet Sheehan. They wanted to keep him. So it tells you they're still really committed. Now, next thing, let's talk some Kyle Tucker here. Buster Olney, he reported today that the Mets thought they had him, and they didn't know the Dodgers were in the fold. So they thought they had Kyle Tucker. And Kyle Tucker is a Los Angeles Dodger. So first and foremost, big shout out to the Dodgers for never leaking any of this information. But also on top of everything else, big shout out to the Mets for basically losing to the Dodgers for another free agent. And that's going to be the team that you're going to be competing with, a big free agent. So you're not really worried because you got your guys. Now, as far as Kyle Tucker goes, the big question right now is why hasn't there been a press conference? Why hasn't he been officially introduced as a Los Angeles Dodger? And I checked with some sources today and was told there will be no press conference today. So don't expect one this afternoon, even though we know there can be times where you better be ready to go and pack up your stuff and get to Dodgers Stadium because, it can be on short notice. You always got to be ready. But what they're waiting for is a spot to open up on the 40-man roster. Because right now it's at capacity. The club is full. The big blue velvet ropes out in front of the club. And they got to kick someone out of the club to let someone in. And who are they going to move? Now, it was reported by Ken Rosenthal that the Dodgers were exploring trades for possibly Bobby Miller. And Bobby Miller, the former top pitching prospect in the Dodgers organization, it just hasn't worked out for Bobby Miller in Dodger Blue. Hasn't been Miller time. It hasn't been Bobby's world. Struggles with command when there's runners on base. The big stuff, even though it's 98, 99, 100, the fastball doesn't have a lot of movement, doesn't play as much. Big leaguers can time up a bullet. And this season, Bobby Miller with the Dodgers at the big league level, he ended up making one start, pitched in 2 games. He gave up 7 runs on 11 hits, had a 12.60 ERA. In 2024 with the Dodgers, an 8.52 ERA in 56 innings of work. So he's had great potential, made his debut in Atlanta. He looked like he was going to be a future ace, and unfortunately just has not worked out. Now, he did have more success pitching out of the bullpen last year when he was sent down, and he has embraced that role. I talked to him about that, and he said, hey, I just want to be able to help a team any way I can. I want to be able to be ready if the Dodgers ask for my services. And look, most relievers were failed starting pitchers, so I still think that he does have the stuff to have a career coming out of the bullpen. But I also think he's a guy that could benefit from a change of scenery. He's a guy that probably needs a fresh start in another organization. And then you add the fact that there's just not a clear path for him to get big league starts, barring multiple significant injuries There's just guys in front of him on the pecking order. So Bobby Miller could be a guy that gets traded. And then, I hate to say this one, but Ryan Ward. Ryan Ward at this point is probably going to get moved. If it's not for the deal to free up Kyle Tucker, it makes you wonder. But there's also a chance, and I've heard this from some sources, that they have talked about the idea of Alex Call as possibly being moved too, and then you could keep Ryan Ward. Because Alex Call does a lot of things really well, right? He grinds out at bats. He can be a late game defensive substitution. He can be a pinch runner. And I'm not saying that this is guaranteed to be the move, but it's definitely a move they've at least talked about for the simple fact that Alex Call does not really have a role on this team anymore. So they might be fielding calls for Alex Call. I'll give myself a bro for that. I'll show myself out. But with Alex Call, think about this. Look at the outfield as it stands. The beautiful thing about signing Kyle Tucker, the great thing, one of the many great things about bringing King Tuck to LA is now the entire outfield, you have everydayers. There is no platoon bats in the outfield, at least to start the season. Kyle Tucker is going to be your right fielder. Kyle Tucker signed a massive deal. There's an opt-out after the second year. So he's going to want to play 150 to 160 games. He's going to want to put that narrative to rest about him that he gets injured. He's going to want to get his numbers. He's going to want to hit 30 to 40 home runs. He's going to want to hit over 30 home runs for the first time. He's going to want to be a pivotal part of this lineup. So Kyle Tucker is going to be your everyday right fielder, and he is going to play as much as possible during the season. So that is Ryan Ward's spot being blocked. And then you look at center field. It's Andy Pages. Defensively, he improved. Offensively, above average, almost made the All-Star team. He's young. He's controllable. You need a couple of those guys in your organization. Andy Pages is that rare homegrown talent that they've developed. They've also given opportunities to for an extended period of time. So Andy Pages, that's your starting center fielder for opening day on the 2026 season. And then there's left field. So one of the other incredible things about signing Kyle Tucker was not only did you replace Michael Conforto with Kyle Tucker in his offensive production in the lineup. I mean, think about how incredible that is to think about. I mean, it's like going from like a Ford Pinto to a Bentley. Like it's a massive upgrade because you get an all-star silver slugger, even fringe MVP level hitter for Michael Conforto over Forto's lineup in the Dodgers 1 through 9. But not only do you get that, you move Teoscar Hernandez to left field where he can't hurt you as much. He can focus on hitting, and then you still keep him in the lineup. And I've said through this entire offseason, when there's been a ton of rumors about Teoscar Hernandez, I said no chance in hell are they going to trade Teo because of one, what he means to the clubhouse as far as being a clubhouse leader, the intangibles. I mean, who's going to throw those sunflower seeds? I mean, yes, sure. The Dodger Stadium cleaning crew would be happy about it. Less work for them, but also mean more work for the Dodgers lineup because who's going to mash against lefties? Who is going to bring you that joy, that $1 billion megawatt smile? Like, to me, the thought of trading Teoscar Hernandez was a non-starter. Like, it would have been a massive mistake if the Dodgers had done that because how good he's in the postseason, because the role he plays. But now that you have Kyle Tucker, it moves him to left. So you have an outfield of Tucker in right, Paz in center, and Teo in left. And now, where does Alex Call play? Because Alex Call would be your fourth outfielder, but you got Tommy Edman who's going to play some outfield. Kike Hernandez is going to be back at some point. Ryan Ward, if he stays in the organization, he could get some opportunities. And then Hae-Sung Kim is the guy that they have played a little bit in the outfield. Do they continue to try to develop that? You got some of your younger guys coming down the pipeline. The Josue DePaulas, the Zaire Hopes. And that is kind of the big question. Would Alex Call, because he really does not have that role, because you really do not need, I mean, look, are you going to have Alex Call on the team just to be an occasional pinch hitter, and you're going to have him maybe make some late game substitutions. I'm not so sure about that. I really don't. So that could be one of the 3 shocking ones that I had in the title. A lot of people thought Alex Call was a lock to just kind of develop in this organization and you just keep him on here, but he's certainly someone that could be moved. Because let's not forget, when you look at the infield and the outfield, don't forget about Andy Ibanez. By the way, he's wearing number 77. Andy Ibanez is wearing 77. He has no options. He has to stay on the big league club. So who else would you move? Another guy, would Kyle Hurt be an option? Kyle Hurt, I think, is a major player. I think that I would keep on Kyle Hurt. I would not move off of him, but he's another guy I've heard some things about as well. And then, I hate to say this, Anthony Bonda. Would the Dodgers trade Anthony Bonda because you've got a ton of lefties coming out of that bullpen? You got Tanner Scott. That's 1. You got Alex Vesia. That's 2. Jack Dreyer. That's 3. Justin Robleski is an absolute dog. Big stuff. Lots of potential. So do you really need 5 of those lefties coming out of the bullpen? And of those 5, who would be the odd man out? Do you think they're going to take Bonda over Dreyer? Think they're going to take Bonda over Tanner Scott? Think they're going to take Bonda over Alex Vesia? Think they're going to take Bonda over Justin Robleski? So that's pretty interesting. Like I said, this is not Dodger State TV here. This is the Keep It 100 Dodgers show. And that's just something they're going to talk about. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. So that's where they're at as far as the moves they need to make. And I look at this roster as one where you can make some improvements. But for the most part now, it's just, hey, you got to just kind of find some space for the guys. By the way, Kyle Tucker, let me know what number you think he's going to take. Dave Roberts is not giving him number 30. In fact, if Dave Roberts gave number 30, I'd be genuinely upset because number 30 will never be worn by anyone else in this organization ever again because Dave Roberts is going to the Hall of Fame. He's made that number iconic as well as Maury Wills. He wears it because of Maury Wills. Dave Roberts has a story where he said that Maury Wills at Vero Beach told him one day that you're going to be asked to steal a base in a big game when everyone knows you are going to try to steal that base. And Dave Roberts said that he was thinking about Maury Wills when he was at first before he stole second in the 2004 ALCS where the Red Sox came back against the Yankees. So, yeah, Hall of Fame story, and it's cool. He's going to make that a Hall of Fame number. So, I kind of think he's going to take 33. I think it's going to be 33. James Albin wore 33. If he likes the number 3, I've joked that he could wear 57 because that's what his present day AAV is, which is the highest in big league history. Pretty sure he's not going to do that and say it's all about the money. 33 is clean. We had Edwin Diaz take 3. I personally think it's going to be 33. Noel, any thoughts on the number that Tucker's going to pick?
I think it's going to be 33 as well. I wonder if he'll do something like Diaz where he picks a number because it has some kind of family like specialty to him. Mm-hmm. But I think 33 is a pretty safe guess.
Yeah, 33. I mean, I know a lot of fans of the show, Scott Van Slyke. A lot of people, that was kind of like that role player that you would go to war for. Blake DeWitt, David Wells, Carlos Perez, Eddie Murray. You had Tommy Brown wore 33. Ernie Coy was the first person to wear 33 back in 1938. David Price wore 33. Andrew Heaney wore 33. And James Albin wore 33 again. But let us know. Who do you want? Oh, no. Everyone's okay. You know what? No way. Do you see what people are saying? They're trying to say.
Blake's now won't be happy.
I know, man. You guys, look, James Albin's not going to wear 6'7" just because he's getting paid $57 million. Okay. He's not getting paid. Someone should do that though.
No,
I'm not going to lie. I had movers yesterday and when I went out and paid them, like I was looking at the final amount. I'm always like, I got like screwed over for my move from Santa Monica to Hollywood. But this one, I saw the final amount and it said 6'7", and I was just like biting my tongue. I was like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it. And I was like 6'7".
You said it loud like that.
And I couldn't stop it. And the guy,
God.
because it was a young guy who was tatted up. He was super cool. And he was just like, he's like, yeah, man. I was thinking it, man. I'm glad you did it first.
Oh my God.
I was just about, I was like,
It's funny because I think because of the meme, you don't realize how often you actually say it in a like everyday life. Like, it's like, you're like, oh, what time are we going to go meet up? Maybe like 6, and then you catch yourself. Like,
no, that's the
so
thing.
we do have some quick little breaking news. This came out yesterday, I believe. I don't know if we talked about it, but apparently Andy Pages will not be playing for Team Cuba in the World Baseball Classic. And he dropped a little quote. This is from Giordano Carmona. Pages told him, I have a lot of things to improve and I need to prepare for a long season. I have to focus on what's most important.
I mean, just say what you're going to say, man. Hey, I'm trying to three-peat, bro. Yeah. I'm trying to get my big league bag. That's the thing, too. It's like, and I love people representing their countries for sure. And I think there's no shame in that at all. Like, I think there's a time and a place for that stuff. But it is kind of a sacrifice a little bit. Like, it is because, I mean, you can hit 2 home runs every game and lead your team to a WBC championship. But that ain't showing up in an arbitration case,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Your numbers are showing up. And I've talked about this on this show. Is Andy Pages, he made a really big improvement in the outfield, in center field. But after the All-Star break, he was 4% above league average. And that's still really good. You would take that for sure. He's got the best arm, one of the best arms in baseball for sure. But it just shows you. I mean, a lot of these guys are kind of opting out. You got Clayton Kershaw opting in. How short was that retirement?
I know.
For Clayton Kershaw. That dude was like, he came home one day and probably had all of his kids saying 6'7", and he was like, get me D-Row on the phone.
It's like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going back.
It's like Tom Brady's like Phillip Rivers. He's like the Phillip Rivers of baseball, but I'm glad to see Clayton Kershaw on the WBC. I think it's going to be very exciting. I love the story he told about how he thought that Mark DeRosa was calling him to just ask him to coach, and it was to be a player. But yeah, and he said he'd be nervous to face Shohei Ohtani. But if Kersh is pitching, here's the thing though. Kersh is like, yeah, we're gonna have guys. Yeah, that's what we thought about in the World Series. We thought we weren't gonna need you in the World Series, and you were in the game, the 12th inning of the bases loaded.
That would be
in
hilarious.
Game 3. I know it would be
in a big spot.
It would be hilarious, and it would also be pretty cool if they kind of allowed him to get the final out of the WBC, just like we were hoping that it could be a possibility for the Dodgers. But all right, guys, coming up next, we got some 7th inning stretch. Mookie Betts, he revealed his plans and what he's going to do. And then also, Dick Mountain is calling it a career. It's a sad day. I thought he'd play until he was 100. Come on, Rich. Try to get him on the show, by the way. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go. The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
Shout out to my guy, the official PA announcer of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who does a lot of the drops for the transition screens on this show, does a lot of the intro stuff. My man, Todd Lights. Love me some Todd Lights. Special thanks for hooking up with that. But yeah, guys, go over, join the LA Sports Report. Definitely join the movement for sure. Some quick news to get into. Rich Hill, he said on the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast that he does not plan to pitch in 2026. He didn't use the word retirement, but he's going to be 46 in March. So he made 2 starts for the Royals in 2025, gave up 7 runs, 5 earned, had a strikeout to walk ratio of 4-8. That's not good if you didn't need to be explained that. Over 9 innings, and it was the 14th team that he's played for in his big league career. A 4.02 ERA, 90 wins in his career, and we'll always wonder what would have happened if he wasn't pulled from Dave Roberts in the World Series. And that one was a tough one. That was definitely something that will. I mean, it's all his examples too. I mean, he was pulled in a game when he had 7 innings, but 2018, and it was the moment I'll kind of remember is that it was Game 4. The Dodgers were so close to tying that series. You had the big moment, hands up by our friend Yasiel Puig. Shout out to Puig, man. Came rocking with us that one day. And Rich Hill was kind of rolling. I mean, he really was. And he gets taken out of that game. When Rich Hill was taken out of that game, it was really the turning point of that series, of that game. Rich Hill was dealing. He really was. It looked like Rich Hill was going to send the Dodgers to Game 5. But the issue was that when Dave Roberts came to take him out of the game in the 7th inning of Game 4, Dave Roberts thought that Rich Hill had told him to take him out of the game. But what really happened was that he had told Dave Roberts to keep an eye on him. So, yeah, we know what happened next. Dodgers lost the game. Ryan Madson, Kenley Jansen. I mean, Rich Hill in that game, he did not allow a hit until the 5th inning. He was pulled after 91 pitches. There was a runner on first, a 4-0 lead. And the Dodgers bullpen, they imploded like we had seen so many times. He had a couple home runs, one off Ryan Madson. How about Steven Pierce, homer off Kenley Jansen? The 7th and 8th inning, he gave a 5-run 9th inning that put the game just completely out of reach. But that decision to pull Rich Hill, it may have cost the Dodgers a World Series. And unfortunately, that's kind of what I'll remember from that. And Dave was a little different. I think Dave really learned from that. I really did. What Dave said at the time, he said, the conversation that we had was pretty clear to me. These are things that I've never had in a start of his, so I don't want to go debate. I made a decision with the information I had, and that's kind of it. He kind of was, I don't want to say being a little defensive, but it was a little bit defensive. I don't think you really see Dave from that. He kind of owns up to his decisions, right or wrong. He also said he had a good conversation with him, and they kind of made the decision. But yeah, there was a misinterpretation. So Rich Hill, I definitely want to see a pitch again. I really do. I don't want this to be the end. Just go until your arm completely falls off. I think that would be the move. But all right, guys, now it's time for your comments. Give me all your thoughts. Let's talk some Dodger baseball next on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
We got 4-seater 777-499 super chat. Give me a little comment of the show action right there. It says Heart 22, Heart 2s, Dodger for life. Oh, you want a Dodger for life? We got Krista Helicopter. I've never seen D-Mac not wear a Dodger shirt. I got my Dodger shirt game. I'll put up against anyone. But I can't wear Dodgers gear when I'm at the game trying to be a big J journalist or wherever the heck. I'm just there to get information for you guys, interview players, right? And unfortunately, I can't wear Dodgers gear to the game. So my friends over at Travis Matthews, they hook it up. But trust me, if it were me, bro, I'd wear the Dodgers suit to cover the team. The Dodgers tie, the Dodgers jacket, the Dodgers pants. I'd rock that. Bloodhound Lil Jeff says, sometimes I fall asleep with YouTube on and Dodgers Nation reruns will play. I'll randomly hear DMX say, no, Blue Jays lose at 3 a.m. Look, honestly, you got to feel for the Blue Jays, man. If you have any friends or family that are fans of the Blue Jays, reach out to them. There's nothing wrong with them, but they just keep losing to the Dodgers. Think about this. POV, you're a Blue Jays fan. You thought you had Shohei Ohtani. You thought he was on a plane headed to Toronto, and the next day he announces he signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Fast forward to next offseason, you think you're getting Roki Sasaki, had a great presentation. He's going to head to Toronto. He signs with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then that season, you face the Dodgers in the World Series. You got Game 7 at home, a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning. Muncy hits a home run. Miguel Rojas owns Hoffman to tie things up. Will Smith hits the go-ahead home run. And you were just inches away from winning the World Series with the bases loaded, ground ball, IKF, not taking a large enough lead. Miguel Rojas makes a great play. Will Smith steps back to touch the plate, and you lose to the Dodgers. And then that offseason, you think you're getting Kyle Tucker. You think you are adding to a team that you hope to improve to win the World Series the following year. Instead, he's not in Blue Jays blue. He's in Dodger blue. You might as well just call them the Toronto Blue Balls at this point because, I mean, they get so close. They're like on the 2-yard line. I'll give myself a bruh for that. Okay. The Toronto Blue Balls, Jays. Okay, but that's what they are. They get so close. The Dodgers are like Darth Vader, Thanos, Hans Gruber, every single villain rolled up into one. That's who the Dodgers are to the Blue Jays. And guess what? They're not the Avengers. You can't go back in time to beat Thanos, right? That's who they are. So yeah, Blue Jays lose. Yeah, okay. Who's your favorite movie villain of all time, Robert?
Ooh, that's in the Joker, The Dark Knight.
The Joker is in that too. Sister.
Ooh,
who's your favorite, Noel?
that's a good one, man.
That's a tough question.
I like the Green Goblin, Spider-Man.
The Green Goblin? That's a good one.
William Dafoe.
That's a good one.
He was insane. How about you, D-Mac?
I mean, here's the thing. There's debates about Darth Vader being a villain, right? And that kind of stuff. But I think most iconic, I got to go with Carlos Correa.
Oh my God.
Or Barry Bonds. Or Barry Bonds.
You're gonna say
Okay.
Luke.
Of course. No, like for me, it's Darth Vader.
That was pretty funny.
No, God. Sister. Yeah. No, I love I don't know, man. Who best villains, that's a good one. For me, I got, a sneaky one is Jafar from Aladdin. Like,
Yeah,
I have to be afraid of Jafar,
the homie Jafar
from Aladdin. Man, but yeah, that's who the Dodgers are to the Blue Jays. The Wicked Witch of the West, Hans Gruber, Thanos, Sauron, Voldemort, Norman Bates, Hannibal Lecter, the Joker, Darth Vader. Hannibal Lecter to me.
Andy Chen just put that too. Annabelle.
I had him with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Yeah, Silence Land's one of my favorites. But all right, we got some more Bloodhound Low. Jeff, what's up? Detroit's owner is worth more than the Dodgers owner, and they're trying to trade a generational pitcher. LMAO, fake poverty franchise. It's a fire take. Linda, we need to keep Peralta from the Mets. I like that. Who's got a hot take, though? Something scorching. You want the fire take button? Give me a hot take. You want to roast someone? Get to finish him? Give me a roast. Want to say something a little sus? We basically call this the Nando button, the bruh. Who's going to say it? Super chat, though, that's the one we prefer the most, by the way. $9.99. Walker Buehler was our last homegrown elite pitcher. We need a homegrown elite pitcher. That is what LA is known for. Is there anyone with the potential to be next? $9.99 from Golden Zoe. Appreciate that. Give the super chat. Give you the comment of the show. But I will say to that, it's a fantastic point. But let's not forget, though, when you say elite, you mean top 5 to 10 in the sport, right? That's how many of those guys are walking around an earth of 6-7 billion. Oh my gosh, but that many billion players, right? People, right? So to say, that's tough, right? I mean, it doesn't happen. You're right about Walker Buehler, but I will say this: 2024, Gavin Stone pitched 140 in third innings, and he led the starting pitchers with that. So is he elite? No. But Gavin Stone played a major role in the 2024 championship run for me, even though he did get injured, didn't pitch in the postseason. So I'll throw that out there. But River Ryan's got nasty stuff. Emmet Sheehan has nasty stuff. Jackson Faird has a lot of potential. But when you're talking about elite, you're talking about like the Yoshinobu Yamamotos, the Blake Snells of the world. It's very tough to find that kind of talent. That's why every waking day that Clayton Kershaw's not on the roster, I hope we appreciate what we had in him. We had arguably the best pitcher on the planet for almost a decade, and then he played 8 seasons after that. So it's a rare thing to find, but you're right. Here we go. We got a hot take. If you put hot take in there, we're probably just going to read it for sure. Inquisition says, hot take, Shohei needs to be taken out of the starting rotation and give his spot to Ryan or Sheehan. Now that is a hot take. That's a very hot take. And to that, I will say that the difference between Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge is Shohei Ohtani does something that no one's ever been able to do with consistency. That's being an elite hitter and an elite pitcher at the same exact time. That's what takes Shohei from being a superstar to a unicorn. Shohei Ohtani is the iPhone 17 Pro Max MLB superstar, right? He's the top of the top. And maybe after a couple of years, sure. But the truth is, when he was on the mound last season, and he was right, for the most part, he looked really, really good after he got a couple starts in him. And look at Game 4 of the NLCS. 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs. So we're not ready for that quite yet. But I will say, to your point, that the Dodgers, I think, are going to not push him, right? I seeing Shohei win the Cy Young, I'd be here for it at the end, but I'd be very cautious of it, because if this team were to lose him right away, they're not anything close to that special team that we need them to be. And what he does for the lineup is what makes his team special, and it makes them a juggernaut. So we're not ready for that quite yet. I still think, too, because he's an elite pitcher. And let's not forget, this is entertainment. We are in the entertainment capital of the world. And the reason why Shohei is because he can do both. Once he just does the first thing, then I got to listen to Yankees fans tell me Aaron Judge is a better hitter. And me, since I'm an unbiased, objective, at least as much as possible, Dodgers fan, I'll have to say, yes, you are right. So I don't want to have to do that. I want to always have that trump card with him that he can do both. Andy Chen, hot take, leave Roki in the bullpen. This is a hot take. This is a hot take. And a couple reasons why I vehemently disagree with you, but I respect your opinion because I know what you're seeing. You're saying, wait a minute, Bailala Roki is a vibe. How do you say it the right way? How would you rate my saying that? Bailala Roki. I feel like I'm messing something up
Work
there.
in progress.
Like, give me the proper.
Bailala Roki.
Bailala Roki.
There you go.
Okay. I'm missing some letters in there, but Noel, give Noel some love in the comments. He knows how to say it, right? When he says it, hey, man, that's in the, everyone gets excited in the chat. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. Bruh. For sure. But you saw him dominate out of the bullpen. You saw Game 4 of the NLDS, 3 scoreless innings. And you say to yourself, wait a minute, he was great in that role. He wasn't great as a starting pitcher. But my counter to that would be that we have not seen that version of Roki Sasaki as a starter yet in the show, because that version came after he made those mechanical adjustments where the hip was rotating and the leg wasn't giving you that full force down to the plate, where the velocity was down from what we saw in the NPB. The velocity was up again when he was a reliever. The shoulder was dinged up a little bit when he was a starter and he was struggling. Then it got healthy again. So first, let me see how he looks with the velocity back, the mechanics back, and the health, and see how he handles that role. And then we'll talk about him being a reliever. And then the second point to that is this. When they recruited him and they made the deal for him, it was with the expectation that they were going to give him a long runway and a chance to be a starting pitcher. Andrew Friedman told me that they think that he can be the best pitcher on the planet. So that would not look good on the Dodgers front. Hey, we gave you one chance and now you are in your second year. You're 23, 24 years old. We're going to stick you in the bullpen. That would not sit right for Roki, because for him to be the player he wants and the impact pitcher that he wants to be, he's got to do it as a starting pitcher. But I think it is good to know that at the very least, his stuff plays up in the show and his floor would be as a reliever. We were talking about Bobby Miller, right? Bobby Miller has never had consistent success in any role in the show, so we don't even know what his floor is. We now know, hey, Roki, let's give you as much runway as you need, because that's what we promised you. That's why you left the NPB early. If it doesn't work out, hey, man, explosive reliever. You can be a Josh Hader, Edwin Diaz. You can make $100 million that way too. So I think that's the positive thing there. Noel, can you say that name at the top? I'm having trouble with this
Where?
one. The disappointed with the Dodgers.
Oh, that is
It's in Japanese, right?
Japanese, I believe.
Okay, sorry. We can say a little Japanese, but can't read in Japanese quite yet. But this one says disappointed with the Dodgers. Ohtani decides to leave for the Yankees. Oh, that's a hot take. Okay, well, first and foremost, he's under contract, so there's that.
That's like your nightmare.
That would be a major nightmare for sure, and there's no doubt about that. I think that's nightmare fuel. He's not a Yankee, he's a Dodger, and he will end his career.
No, that's like your nightmare about Shohei leaving.
Yeah, I know. The only way it could happen is if Andrew Friedman left, and then he would go sign with the Yankees. But he's with the team that the Yankees kind of used to be. D-Mac needs a Snickers bar. Adam Young, hey man, that Snickers ice cream bar. I used to love those. I'm laying off those, but give me a Snickers ice cream bar. Top 3 candy bars. No one asked me that, but I will say Reese's Buttercup. Underrated one, Payday. I like the nuts. I like the peanuts all over it. And the third one is they changed the recipe of Butterfinger, but the OG Butterfingers, Mr. Goodbar is solid, but I'd go Reese's Buttercup, Payday, and Butterfinger.
You're a big peanut butter guy.
I'm a big peanut butter guy. Yeah, that's I like crunchy peanut butter, the GIFs, which is where you're moving for 6 seconds and it keeps repeating itself. Do you have a top 3 candy bars, Robert? Oh, sorry, doesn't eat candy, just probably protein bars. I get it. How about you, Noel? You have a top 3?
I like Kit Kat,
Kit Kat's fire.
Snickers, and Hershey's.
Nice. Yeah, keep it OG. Yeah, I mean the Hershey's goes super hard. Who has more aura, Kobe or Shohei? Wow. I'm gonna say they have equal aura. I'm gonna say that at least they have equal aura, because for me, I don't think I'd be talking to you right now if it wasn't for the Black Mamba and because of what he did for my interest in sports. But I would say that, man, Shohei definitely he's a little more stoic than especially kind of the later version of Kobe with the scowl and that version of Kobe. But yeah, I would say that they're both a 10 out of 10 when it comes to aura. You want to answer that one? I feel like that's a Noel, like,
yeah.
These things that Noel thinks when he's driving around in his Acura with the license plate.
Bro's gonna read my license plate. I think you hit it on the money. It's pretty close. They got aura in different ways, but
yeah,
I mean it's pretty equal.
Yeah, it really is. I think we did our Mount Rushmores for the LA Sports Report, and I already had Shohei on my LA Mount Rushmore, and I had Shohei, Kobe, Kareem, and Magic. Yes, 3 out of the 4 Lakers, but I think you could throw Sandy Koufax, Kirsch in there if you want. I just look at the championships. I mean, look, Yamamoto could be on there one day too. We'll see. So I think they're kind of equal footing. We had Mr. Classic D-Mac time for the LA Sports Report. We have $4.99 from Nick Romero. I'm almost sure Andrew Friedman is making a trade for Peralta to make room for him and Tucker to be on the 40-man roster. Something is cooking. Yes. I mean, I talked about today. The reason why there's no Kyle Tucker press conference, and I checked in, and the reason why is because they're figuring out what to do with that spot. And I think they're weighing a lot of things. I mean, do you DFA someone? Like a Siani is someone that still provides value because he's a defensive replacement, but a trade could also be a way that you fill up a spot on the roster. But if you add in a couple big leaguers, then you got to move some people. So we could see a blockbuster trade. We talked about the options. We talked about Ryan Ward and Bobby Miller and Landon Knack and Anthony Bonda and guys like that. And then we'll see what happens with Alex Call. So that's another reason too. But that's absolutely why they need to free up a spot on the roster. All right, guys. D-Mac, is that a McDonald's M on your shirt from Joel Rodriguez? Hey, I haven't had my break today. But no, it's not a McDonald's M. I would rock some McDonald's gear. Bloodhound Lil Jeff. D-Mac, when is the housewarming party? I bought a bunch of White Claws and Cutwaters. I'll give the address for sure. So 1000 Vince Scully Avenue on opening day. That's my house. Spent a lot of time there during the season. A couple more here. We got what am I learning is never rent a car from DMAC or never rent a car to DMAC from Kung. There you go. That's a comment of the show. Give you that. We got a couple more here. Let's get Nando's here. I know we're hitting the hour mark here. Nando 390. Rich Hill going to pitch against high school kids and talk about I still got it. I like that. All right, guys. We're running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
All right, I thought this was cool. We had Mookie Betts in a car with John Cena, and John Cena, well, he was apparently in the car. I couldn't see him, but I mean, the seat was empty. But he talked about his future, and this is not a surprise, but I do want to use this as another opportunity to appreciate what Mookie Betts has meant to this franchise.
Is that it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
For sure?
for sure. I'll be 40 and my little girl will be 14, 15. My son will be, 10. I know for me, like my parents were always there and I want to do that same thing for my kids.
So my question is, why is Mookie Betts in a car driving around talking to himself? Like that is a little weird there. No, but obviously it's great to see that. And I just want to say this about Mookie Betts. There's been a lot of superstars signed after him. But let's not forget, he was the guy that ushered in this era of superstars. Because you had Corey Seager, you had Clayton Kershaw, you had Cody Bellinger, definitely stars. I think at that point it was post-peak Cy Young, Clayton Kershaw, and Corey Seager had dealt with some injuries. We knew what he looked like when he was great, an all-star. But Mookie Betts was that real first top 5 guy, like a top 5 player entering his prime. Even during those years where they made it to the World Series in 17 and 18, even through all those playoff runs, it wasn't that super top Mike Trout level, really elite type of player. And that's what Mookie Betts was when he came here. Gold Gloves, MVP. He was what this organization needed. And I'll never forget what Mookie Betts said at his introductory press conference. And that was, I'm here to win rings. And yes, there was an end. There was an S at the end of that. It was rings, plural. And he has delivered on that. 3 rings for Mookie Betts. He said himself, he's trying to fill up his whole hand. He's trying to fill up all of his hands. And he's a big reason why the Dodgers culture is what he is. Andrew Friedman told me that he's the most selfless superstar that he's ever had in any organization that he's ever been in. And he took over his shortstop position at an age when no one ever does that. Usually they're moving off shortstop. He started shortstop at the big league level north of 30, and he figured out a way to play it at a top 3 level because Gavin Lux, he couldn't figure it out and he couldn't make the throws. So Mookie Betts, we appreciate you here. MLB stands for Marcus Lynn Betts. Mookie living his Betts life with John Cena, and you love to see it. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Special thanks to Noise by Noel. Check out his reel. Check out his content. He's always killing. Robert, always killing. He's like a movie critic on the side and a movie maker, which is great because the Dodgers have been pure cinema last couple of seasons. So great to have him. But thanks you guys in the comments. Catch you guys later on the LA Sports Report. Subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. Buy stuff at gearup.la. Subscribe to the LA Sports Report. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter